hadn't clicked record. Okay, so Dr.
Karen,
can you? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, okay. It's Janice from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan in Canada.
Oh,
I've been on the last, I've been on the last for four, but you sent me the one link or code, which didn't work for me because I waited too long. But I haven't gotten the last three. So
okay.
Do you need me to send you my information again, or?
Please, yeah. Well, if you can just send me an email, please, Janice. I'm pretty sure I have your serial number, but if you could just let me know which ones you need again, and I'll generate.
Okay. I was on last week, but I can't remember what was the panel called for last week.
Oh, last week was vision. Eye wellness.
Oh, that was the eye wellness one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I was thinking that this week was the eye wellness one, but okay. All right. I'll send you an email again for it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So Dr. Lou, are you ready to rock and roll? And if you want to mention the disclaimer, you're so good at doing that, please. And we're recording now. Oh, Dr. Lou, we can't hear you.
Somehow okay, how about now?
Yep, can hear you now.
Gosh, that's funny because I didn't touch anything and it went to mute. Anyway, we don't diagnose on this call. We don't prescribe. We don't treat. If you have a medical condition or think that you might have a medical condition, well, I would suggest right away that you go and visit with your licensed practitioner and get to the bottom of that. What I talk about here is my own experience, what I've learned over the years in natural healing, herbs, particularly some homeopathy and other types of things. So we're going to share commonly available information and what I've determined to be information that I choose to use. So tonight we did a discomfort type of panel. We have to be really careful of the language that we use, because we don't want to be using terms that can be considered medical. And while I'm speaking about that, let's speak about the testimonials, Karen.
Okay.
You mentioned quickly that anytime anybody gives us a written testimony, we're happy to share with them another free panel on inflammation. And people that have used that panel, I think, have enjoyed it. I've had good success with it. But be careful as you write these panels, that the terminology is not terminology that could be considered medical lingo or language. Just make it general, and you can assign it any way you choose, your initials or whatever it might be. So discomfort, I've found, is something that most people share in common in different parts of the body. It could be a lot of different things. It could be muscular. It could be all different types of related discomfort. But we share that in common. And so what I've done is go back and probably added more ingredients, Karen, to this particular panel than I did to some of the previous ones. And I was hoping that you might be able to give me a testimony this evening. I don't know whether you're able to or not.
I haven't finished making it. It's been crazy. I know. I'm going to use it. So I'm going to run it all night tonight.
Okay.
Let it run. Yeah.
Well, you could maybe share with people the reason why, but we share this in common. So what did I do? And why did I choose the different types of herbs in particular that I chose? It's because of my past experience. If you go and look at this panel, you're going to probably see at the very top, Arnica montana or Arnica. And that's my relatively first go-to when I initially have pain. And I used it in the homeopathic version. I don't remember. I think it was 30C, but I'm not sure. But would use that right away. And if that was a pain that came on fast, discomfort that came on fast. Other types of discomfort are lingering. They come and they last. I'm right now. Wendy is dealing with one on her ankle. And we've not been able to get to the root of that yet. We continue to make strides, but it flares up. It becomes worse later in the day because she keeps her weight on it. Of course, I can't get her to wear shoes I think she should wear, but that's her choice. So I used a lot of different things. I used kava kava. I used hemp. I've included lavender in there and chamomile and all different types of herbs that I found that work not only immediately but over time. And I also included a really important, what I believe to be important, is the resonance gel that you have, Karen, because we've seen really, really almost instantaneous results by using that in areas where people have discomfort. I think I shared maybe one time when I was in Oklahoma City, and back in, well, maybe, let's see, it'd be 10 years ago, I put on a meeting out there with close to 100 people. And that was my first experience with the product that you have, and used that product on a group of 10 people. I didn't have a lot. It just became available at that time a few days before I left. So I took it along, and in front of that 100 or so people we had at the meeting, we asked for volunteers, Karen. We had 10, and we put the resonance, or that type of gel that resonated, clay and gel, on people's areas of discomfort, which would have been neck and leg and back and lower back, particularly, all different types of problems, and had within a short time 9 out of 10 immediate responses. So that's another go-to. If you have any areas that are discomfort, pain, are causing you issues, then use that topically, the gel topically, and I've seen outstanding results. But we have suggested people use this panel, and as like you do, you would probably run this all night. Just turn it on and put it in the multi-layer tray at the bottom down there, and just set it to 0 and let it go and go and go. And then on and off during the day, if it continues, you might want to run it once or twice during the day, because during the day, generally, you're going to...
Dr. Lou? Hey, Missy! We've, Dr. Lou, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm not hearing you. I don't know whether anyone else is.
No.
Oh. Do you know whether there's been a storm there, Missy, where your dad is?
Going to be running.
Oh, okay, you're back. Hey, Missy. Missy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Hello?
Am I back?
You are, yeah, you're back.
Karen,
Sorry.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. We had a lot of rain, a lot of storms here again today, at least
okay.
where I am.
That's probably what
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I had people start getting on and trying to...
Dr. Lou, you might want to turn your video off.
She's having problems too. So we both got knocked out. I guess I'm back now.
Are you okay, Dr. Lou?
Yeah, hi, Miss.
You good? Okay.
Yep.
Hi, I'm just muting myself because of background
turn my what
noise,
off?
okay?
All right,
Yeah.
thanks, Missy.
So this is one of the advantages, Karen, of living in North Carolina. You get these unexpected storms,
Beautiful.
and it knocks your internet out.
Right.
Beautiful.
That's the downside.
But as I was saying, Karen, yeah, as I was saying, during the day,
Dr. Lou, it might be better if you
there are
turn,
other discomfort.
it might be
and
better if you turn your video off, because it won't use
Okay.
as much bandwidth. Yeah,
There we go. How's that, Karen?
much better. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the reason that I completed this panel, and we're having great experience with what I've done in the past in the quantum zone and the quantum field, using these types of ingredients. So I can open it for questions, and I've got a lot of things to talk about tonight. So let's see if anybody's got any kind of a question.
Okay. I'm gonna actually turn my video off too, because my computer is overheating. It's been so hot here today. So please, if you have any questions for Dr. Lou, please.
Dr. Lou, oh, sorry.
Yeah, no,
That's all right.
It's Robin talking. I was just wondering if you ever use belladonna.
Belladonna. I've not used belladonna. I didn't even consider that, and not for any particular reason. It's just that I'm not as familiar with it.
I find really good success with it.
Do you use it? How? Homeopathically?
Yes, homeopathic and energy.
Okay, and what concentration?
30C.
What 30C? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. As Karen, if you choose to add that, why don't you add it to the panel? It takes a minute.
belladonna is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Let's put it in. We did this last night, Robin. I don't know if you were on Missy's call. Missy's on.
Oh,
here
this
now,
is my
too.
first time ever. Nice to meet you.
Oh, really? Well, good to meet you. We constructed a panel live time last night. It was kind of fun,
Cool.
it's a work in process. It's not going to be done until next week. Is that right, Karen?
Which one? Which panel?
Missy's
Yeah.
Thursday panel.
Yeah, the webinar's in 2 parts, and the panel we're going to complete next week, right, Missy? Yeah.
Well, she's probably having problems too.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a big storm, Karen.
Us too. Yeah, us too.
Anyway, where are you, Robin? Where are you located?
I'm in Costa Rica right now. Quite the
Costa
storm
Rica.
going on.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'd like to come down there sometime. Haven't been there yet.
Oh, well, let me know. We'll get you all set up. We do tours and everything.
Oh, do you? Oh, great,
yeah.
great. Yeah. Well, we'll do that when we can travel again more freely. I don't.
Yeah, right. If that'll ever happen, eh?
Oh, I believe it will. Any other questions? Thanks, Robin.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this or any other panels that I've done?
Do we have Tammy? Let's just see if we have Tammy and Pam. Pam's been actually. Pam, do you want to share any experiences that you've had?
Sure. Hi, Dr. Lou.
Hi, Pam.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Oh, well, I'm really good.
Well, I guess what I wanted to tell you was I've been a little under the weather, and Tammy, my sister, has been running the Quantum Infinity with a bunch of your different panels.
Okay.
She's run lymph on me. She's run digestion. She's run energy, immune boost, because I've been fighting off of some form of a virus. We don't think it was COVID-19, but I've had that in the past, and I guess I'm still a little down from that. So we were using your panels to try to help boost me so that I could keep functioning and running my business.
Okay.
They really truly work. I mean, I am so thankful that you have created all the ones that I said plus the other ones, because I don't think I'd be functioning without them, because they really kind of gave me the energy, and it just boosted me enough that I could fight this off, whatever this virus is. So I'm very thankful for you, and I am a firm believer that they work, and your body doesn't use any more than you need. Your hydration panel, I've been using that one because I don't get to drink enough during the day, so my sister runs that on me a lot, to get me the minerals and get the fluids into me, because I've been so busy and just not, I wasn't feeling well, and then I didn't really want to drink a lot because I just wasn't feeling good, because the room was spinning and I couldn't stand up. But with all those things, all the different panels that you've created in the past couple months, they've got me back up, and I'm working, and I'm functioning, They're wonderful. They're just wonderful.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
And that's the goal. You know, Pam kind of nailed it on the head when she said that we write these panels. We really write them to help people initially, and that's the goal behind it. We invite you to the call. We give you the panel free. We hope that this call grows and that you invite guests and people who come to this webinar will receive that panel that I wrote when Karen finishes putting it together. Well, the problem is not Karen. The problem is me. You know, I'd like to be able to sit down and not only write the panel, but be able to send it to everybody. But I get sidetracked in a lot of other things. So
well, Dr. Leo, I'm just very grateful that you do all the research. I don't mind at all creating the panel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I like the feedback. Like Robin gave us belladonna. I hadn't considered belladonna because it's
Peppermint's
not something
good
that
too.
Peppermint I have in there, I believe.
Yeah.
Peppermint. When you see the ingredients, there are essential oils as well as herbs, and I believe I put a few homeopathics, or
Yeah.
I didn't put the potencies in there. Yeah, but I just gave the when you see Arnica montana, you generally think of that as homeopathic and not necessarily the flower or the leaves or the aerial parts of it,
Right.
which you could use as well. But Pam, I'm grateful that you're doing better and that you're feeling better, and you nailed it, because when we use the energy field, we are not using anything that you would consider to be physical. It's information. It actually goes to the cell and helps the cell, helps the body, the energetic part of the body, make a decision as to how much information it needs to be able to process those ingredients in a better way. And as it goes through the list, which happens virtually instantaneously, it sees the ingredients and begins to use them. So one day you may see that you need one of those ingredients and you run that all night long. And then the next day you choose to use that panel again. It may be totally different. It may be higher or lower numbers than it was previously. And people say, well, there's no duplicity in that. It doesn't duplicate, so it can't be accurate. But consider the fact that every day you're a little bit different than you were the day before. You're a work in progress. You're changing. And that, if you weren't changing, you wouldn't be here. You'd be stagnant, and that wouldn't be a good thing. So we are happy to see the changes being made. And as we change that little bit every time, we get closer to being more of what we want to be. And that's why I enjoy using the Quantum Infinity and writing these panels, because we're able to make those subtle changes a little bit at a time. And where you see it, you might not even hardly notice it in the beginning. You might not sleep very well. And then little by little, as you run that panel, your sleep habits will improve. And then you might go back and see, gee, did I get any benefit from that? Because you really don't remember what it was like not to sleep, So this is a good thing. This is a really good thing, I think, that we're doing, and we're going to continue to do it for you. We're going to continue to write these panels, and I'm always open to suggestions. I have one that I want to do that I've not been able to do because it's going to take too long. I've got to get it done here shortly, but I just don't have all the time that I need to commit to the one panel to get it done. It might take, and that's one that will be inclusive of a lot of different herbs and other ingredients, nutraceuticals and things like that. And it'll happen. It's just I haven't gotten around to it. And then somebody has a need, like distress, and so that moves up to the front, and I put that one out. And any other questions or comments?
Oh, I have a comment, because we're doing essential oils. I thought of, and we use Young Living. There's one called Pain Ease, and also Valor.
Oh,
Valor.
Yeah. Thank you, Missy.
Yeah, put them in there, Karen. I don't know the a Young Living a line of essential oils. I know that they have high quality oil, but I've never really used essential oils like some other people have. So you'll find that I don't, that's not my first go-to like Tanya does. She'll go to essential oils. I'll go to herbs. So you're going to get the best of both worlds that way. And Karen, you can go to homeopathy. So, or Robin, as I heard you speak about using belladonna. All
I'm
of these
sure
things
you
are
have
wonderful. I
boswellia
do.
and cayenne and tulsi and all that stuff, the holy basil and turmeric, all that.
I didn't put Tulsi in. I put in the other ones, Miss. I can see you're out on your deck.
Yeah, I'm having dinner. That's why I keep muting myself, because I don't want you to hear the fork and the
Well,
Tulsi
I know.
is holy basil.
Yeah.
Tulsi is holy basil. So
Uh-huh.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Missy,
Well,
Missy and I live about 40 or 50 miles apart.
So
Dr. Lou?
Yes, go ahead.
It's okay. It's Janice. I usually I'm traveling
Janice.
on Friday nights, and at one time in my life I'm not traveling, so I got to get all my questions in. I've actually had my Infinity for many years, and I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis probably 15 years ago, and the Infinity had totally put it all into healing and remission, and so, you know, I kind of actually fell off and sort of slacked off and hadn't really been using it for quite some time, and had a really bad flare-up last fall. So I've really gotten back into it again, and it's really, again, making a huge difference. And I actually just started getting some of the panels that you and Karen have been putting out since back in, I think, last November. I started getting them, and I really enjoy them. And so I'm just new to the call, because I never really got into didn't really know too much about the calls, and I'm really enjoying joining you all every week. So I do have a couple questions, because I'm not real good with my Infinity. To run it all night, did you say to put it on 0? Is that how you get it to run all night?
And the multi-tray, but I'll defer that question to Karen. Karen, go ahead, please.
Yeah, if you set it to 0, you can run it indefinitely.
Okay, I never knew that. I knew you could run it indefinitely. I just didn't know how to do it. Okay, thank you for that. And the other thing is, I haven't tried your resonance cream. Can you explain a little bit to me about what that is about that would help with pain?
I do want to talk about that, so let me go and address that right now. Okay, you heard me speak about a meeting where I actually went and it's Oklahoma City and put on a demonstration. Resonance clay, I became aware of a little over 10 years ago. It's manufactured by a friend of mine down in Florida. He's in Lake City. And what he does is he takes kaolin clay. Kaolin clay is a crystalline form of aluminum. It used to be called kaolpectate. It would be for your stomach. It would be an antacid and things like that. However, if you expose a crystal, it can hold a charge, and the resonance clay or resonance gel Karen has are able to hold that charge, and it's a natural frequency that Al Peterson puts into the clay and the gel, and it does amazing things. I first discovered it for myself. You know how you go to sleep at night and sometimes you'll wake up and you have your toes are pointing straight up in the air, you know, and the back of your calf feels like it's got a knife in it. Well, I would put that when I had that issue, I would put that gel on those areas, and within 2 minutes, 2 minutes would be a long shot. The discomfort would subside. So the gel is meant to be used topically, and the powder, you can do certain things with it. I use it, I'll put it in my shoes. I can put it, you can make a poultice out of it. I did that when I got bit by a brown recluse spider. You can put it under your bed, you know, between the mattress and the thing that goes underneath the mattress, whatever that's, the box springs, and you'll get a good night's sleep. So we should probably bring Al on this call to talk about that at some point, Karen, again.
Yeah.
Or he and I will talk about it together. It is an amazing product, Janice, and I recommend everybody on the call at least get a small bottle of the gel and possibly the powder too. I know we have a written testimony from Margie on it, but I don't know where that testimony went. We probably need to look it back up, Karen, and post it as well. So what we're doing in this case, everyone, is any of what Karen does, any of her products that you use successfully, whether it's the resonance clay or gel, or any of the panels that I've done, or Tanya, I guess, we are sending out the inflammation panel as a bonus. That's a bonus panel. And otherwise, you'd have to buy it. And I don't remember. I think you have a special on the panels right now, Karen, I believe.
You, yeah.
Do you? Okay.
Put it, yeah.
So,
I'll put that
okay.
link in the chat box.
Okay, right. So those people that were not on the earlier calls, those panels are no longer free, the ones that we did months ago now, because we really want to offer it to the people on the current call, so that they will bring guests, and the guests then will be doing the same thing. They'll get the free panel and maybe perhaps invite other people, and we'll grow a family then of Quantum Infinity users. Last night we did a call, Missy, who's on this call, my daughter, and Karen in particular were doing the call. I happened to be there. But as they spoke, they were building a panel live. So you can see how a panel is being constructed and the thinking that goes behind it. So that's a Thursday night call at the same time. And then, well, let's get to any more questions, because I'm gonna let a cat out of a bag here a little later on about some things that are coming down the road.
Hi, this is Vicky. Is
Hi,
last
Vicky.
night hi Dr. Lou. Is last night our session recorded? I couldn't join in last night.
It is,
Karen?
yeah, it is. And
It
my
is.
daughter uploaded it. It's on the YouTube channel now. She uploaded it this morning.
And Vicky,
okay.
I want to thank you publicly for what you're doing for myself, for me, by getting that book to me eventually on Vietnamese herbs. And I shared that information with Dr. Bruce, and he's really excited because he researches herbs from all over the world.
Well, that book is a very special book. It is.
Mhm.
It has 5,000 herbs, that including Vietnamese herb, and some Asian herb that he has been researched for 30 years. It's
Yep.
it has the English name, but it might cross with a lot of American herbs.
That's fine.
Yeah. So and I have two more books that I need your address so I can send it in English. So
Mhm.
you might know it already, but I don't. So I'm curious
Okay.
of what it is. So I need your address and the book from Dr. Do Tất Lợi is 2 pounds. It's 1,250 pages. So but mostly in Vietnamese. But my sister say you can go to Google Translate and easy translate it. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so that book is I love that book. I bought it like 15 years ago. I look at it and I say, oh, I want to keep it, and then I moved so much, so my friend put it somewhere. But I found another one, so when I receive it, I will send it to you, and you can share, because I'm sure that you can find more use than I do, especially with the panel that you want to build, the I don't know what you call it, the life panel, the whatever, the whole well-being, total well-being panel, whatever you call it. It might add a lot to it. It might add a lot to it.
Well, Vicky, I don't know how to say thank you enough, because what you do is you give a gift not only to me, but you give it to many people, because we're going to reach out. I mean, Dr. Bruce and I will collaborate on that. And I can't claim that I know a whole lot about Oriental herbs. There are probably people on here that know much more about it than I do, than herbs that come from the East. But we will learn. And I think Bruce already knows quite a bit, Dr. Bruce. So we will learn, and we will make those panels available. And we will do panel for you specifically for your needs, Vicky, because of the gift that you've given us. And so we give back.
Okay, thank you, Doc. as Karen does so much for me and you know for her members. So this is for the benefit of everyone. And
It is, right.
yes, and I do want to continue to learn how to build a divine will prayer. It works
Okay.
for me tremendously. Karen
Hmm.
showed me a little bit, but I still don't have a clear idea of what to do until now. I start seeing, I start learning of what to put in there, and I'm going to put a lot of herbs in there because it does answer. It's funny because I was working with a Vietnamese friend, and she stopped, you know, in the United States, and just last week, and she stopped and she pointed to an herb on the a grass, something on the ground, and she said it in Vietnamese, and I forgot what she said. She said that to do what, to do what. I said, how do you know? Yeah, to me, it's just a piece of grass. And so she's laughing. She said, yes, sure, I know. She said, that, you can do that, you can do that, you can do that. It's, oh, wow. You know, I don't know where I ever get to that level, but it's amazing.
That's great. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you for sharing that. And I loved what you shared about the chocolate too. And that goes for everything, as we know. Would you like to share a little bit about that, Vicky? The environment that, you know, our food grows in, like unprocessed food, you know,
Yeah, that from Dr. Pere, which has the two herbs that I'm going to that I'm using. One is to heal the leaky gut, and after listening to his video about leaky gut, which is unknown to me before, that was the main cause of many diseases, because leaky gut between the fibers, the connection up in the gut, the virus, the bacteria, and harmful chemical can go into your system and do damages. And we as modern medicine concentrate on the symptom rather than the root cause. Uh, uh, they design a lot of medicine and a lot of technology to heal the symptom, but not to heal the root cause. Therefore, the illnesses and the diseases keep coming back until you go to the root cause, and like the weed, until you pull the root out, it will coming back again and again if you just cut it. So for one thing, that was the leaky gut that I learned. And Dr. Pere also have another protein drinks, and in there he used chickpeas, which is I believe this is maybe Mexico or in Asia we use a lot of chickpeas too. And so uh, uh, and he was talking about coca, which is the one that we make chocolate. Vietnam, 1,000 years, 2,000 years ago, was under the influence of French, and they grow a lot of coca and make coffee. So Dr. Beret say that where your food come from is very important, because the modern farmer using a lot of chemical to try to compensate for the lack of nutrition in the ground. And when they do it, the food might look bigger, and might look more appealing, but the nutrition part of that might come to zero. Um, a lot of my friend who has a garden, they use organic, and they use fertilizer that is not chemical to grow the food, and the flavor. If you look at the coffee only, the flavor of the coffee in Vietnam is totally different than the flavor of the coffee in France, if they grow coffee now in France, or in other country, um, in South Africa or in Mexico, because the soy, the chemical in the soy is affecting the food. And one important that I think I learned from him, is that, the appearance of the food is not the true quality of nutrition of the food. So that's why you pay more for organic. But you have to be careful when you buy organic foods or fruit. They say organic, but just a name. The true telling of the non-organic, non-GMO is in the UPC. Um, uh, every food in every product in the United States has a UPC code. And if you see the the 09, if you look, that's 09, for example. You go some company, and they said they certified by USDA, which is a USDA really coming in and certify that it's non-organic. They do the testing. If it's organic, it's non-organic, and they say it USDA proven, they get a fine, very $100,000 to $200,000 fine. So this company has very be careful. So if you look at the UBC code, usually you see the 0 first, and then the number after that. Number 909 is USDA non-organic certified, and then the next two number is the country where it's come from. Country in United States. 99 is made in United States. 88 is made in Vietnam, and I believe 66 is in China. I'm not sure about that. I just remember this is two. So the first four number is important, but the first two number, when you see 08, is GMO. Don't buy anything say 08. So that to me, when I buy vitamins in the store, and protein, and when I look at 08, when I'm in doubt, I never buy 08 on the UPC code, on the first two number.
Vicky, you still there?
Yeah, I'm done.
I don't know why someone just disappeared. Was that Dr. Lou?
I don't know.
Wanted to add to Vicky's comments that Cheerios, general, almost all the general cereals have noticeable levels of the Roundup on them, even though they're whole grained and all this other stuff. So you have to watch to really try to get organic Cheerios.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't eat. You said cereal?
Yes,
Yeah.
I said that the Cheerios.
Yeah. I don't eat cereal.
General Mills Cheerios.
So I don't know. But I would look at the UPC code. Even if they use they use mix. If there is a mix of non-organic and GMO, they have to put in 08 according to the USDA. They might not always putting that, but when I see 08, I don't buy even in the product from China. China number 8 is a prosperity number, and they love number 8, uh, and so they put everything 8. But when I see 08, even in product in China, when in doubt, don't use it. Why do you want to buy the GMO product and put it in your body, right? You eat enough bad food. I eat enough bad food. And things like that. Why would you just one number? Why would you don't want to make sure that you don't use it? Now 09 is the best, but 07, 03, and 06 is okay. You know, as far as it's not 08. I would never buy 08.
Yeah, thank you, Vicky. You know, it's like we need this information because these pesticides wreak havoc in our bodies.
Yeah, and that's what so beautiful about quantum infinity, because you can take the herbs and you can run it on the frequency, and your body would benefit from it. It's totally amazing to me. It's the best invention that I know. You know, you just use the frequency and it changed everything.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
I know, Dr.
I'm back.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah. Though I went out because of the storm, but I'm back. So let me make some comments. I don't know exactly where we are time-wise, quarter up. Do we have any other questions on what we're talking about tonight?
Vicky was just talking about the effects of pesticides on our bodies. So maybe we can create something to eliminate, the toxicity that is caused.
Oh yeah. Let's quickly talk about pesticides then. Okay, and they're glycosates. The 2,4-D, 2,4,5-T are actually chelators. And what happens is when you put these pesticides on plants, they take out the minerals, and so the plant withers and dies. And then they tell us it's safe for us, but is it really? Because if it's a chelator to a plant, is it not a chelator to us as well? So when you begin to extract all of these trace minerals, your body doesn't do too well. So yeah, all right. Let me put that as a maybe a plan. How to detoxify, but yeah. I don't know whether I'll do that next week or not yet.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay. Thanks, Dr. Lou. Thank you, Vicky.
Any other questions or comments? Anything. Doesn't have to be about this panel. Can be about any panel. Any other question?
I just added something. It said that the pesticides have the heavy metals.
You and heavy metals?
Yeah. Hi.
The pesticides.
Jennifer.
Yeah.
Hi, Jennifer.
Have heavy metal. Hi.
Hi, Karen. I can't make it out. I didn't know what. Oh, hi, Jennifer.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. It's the pesticides. They have the heavy metals in them.
Yeah, some of them do, and there are other ones. You know, it's a funny thing because back in 1965, I guess it was, or 6, I'm not sure. Maybe it was 6. I worked for a company that made what you would call 2,4,5-D or 2,4,5-T, 2,4-D dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, and 2,4,5 trichlorophenoxyacetic acid, which is really the main ingredient in Agent Orange. So this is back in the 60s, and that particular place later became the most toxic waste dump in the state of New Jersey. So I have a familiarity with what these things can do, and how they do it. And so I was being, well, the government wanted to take a look at me to see why I had no reaction to any of it. But I wasn't working with it that long. So you're right, there are heavy metals included. And here, you know, we grow a lot of our own crops, but what we're doing is we're even using, I forget the name of it, my neighbor just told me today, we're using natural pesticide. It's all natural, doesn't have any bad ingredients in it, and we're having good success on our tomatoes. And when I say tomatoes, I know we have, I guess we have somewhere between 50 and 90 tomato plants this year.
That's amazing.
And yeah, we have a lot growing. And we have corn, we have okra, we have peppers, we have potatoes, which are doing really well. But we don't use anything that is not natural. So when I say natural, manure and things like that we use, you know. Any other questions, comments?
So, well, I was just going to make a comment too about, you know, you mentioned the Agent Orange, which is in glyphosate, and so that is also in that Roundup that the people spray. And so it's unfortunate that our neighbors use that unconsciously, and then, you know, it affects us too because our neighbors are unconscious.
Well, it has a long half-life. I'm not sure the half-life of that particular product, but it gets into the soil and it stays there and breaks down over time, but it takes a long time. So we here, you know, we don't add anything that's unusual. We grow a lot of nightshades. We grow, or used to anyway. They used to grow tobacco, and then right after tobacco, it was tomatoes. And so both of those are pretty intense when you come to sprays. I don't want to get too much more into that. Karen, I've got to make this announcement about what Dr. Bruce.
Oh,
And
yes. Thank you.
yeah, and I probably want to unrecord that, okay?
Okay, let me take it off record.